Hey guys, this is Tina B.
And Charmaine G.
We're here to talk about the messiness of life. It's ugly.
And it's raw.
It's real.
And it's a freaking game.
It's whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole!
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole!
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole!
This is us.
And our gift to you.
Hey guys and gals.
Happy week, everyone.
It's inauguration week.
It's.
Don't give me a dirty look. I saw that.
I
You gave
don't
me a
know how
dirty
to
look.
handle it. Okay, I'm not going to look at it.
I'm just teasing
Okay.
you.
I feel honestly like, is it coming? Is it going to really happen?
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
No conceding, huh? All right. Well, we're going to go.
Yeah, we are. We already stated we're not a political podcast, but we have an opinion. I mean, it's a big thing going on in our nation right now.
You going to watch
Tomorrow, no. I mean, well, I'll be at work.
Yeah.
And I could put on, like a news feed, they'll have it live on YouTube or something
Yeah.
like that, and I can listen to it. I mean, there's going to be some quality entertainment there. Why not? I do remember when
What would
Barack,
that look like? What do you think we're walking into tomorrow? WW3
maybe, I don't know, or the WWE.
or F? What the fuck? No, I'm just kidding. What is this? Like
We have
stalemate
guests.
over here.
We have
do.
guests.
We do.
And
Everybody shake
we're
it out.
interviewing
Shake it
these
off.
guys today, and they are like stones, statues right now.
I didn't know we could talk already. This is your
I didn't
show.
say
Oh,
you
yeah.
could talk.
Okay,
Talk
I'm
over
sorry.
us.
I didn't. You were correct. You may not talk.
Okay, thank you.
Look at your mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I am Tina B, and this over here is Charmaine G.
What up, yo?
And we have guests that have been introduced to you guys before. I have my my husband here. I
Hello.
don't like to say my husband. There's a man here named Greg that I'm married to. I don't like to show ownership like that.
That was like an inside out.
My husband.
definition.
I
Yeah.
worked with a girl. I'm not kidding you. For 5 years, she was engaged that whole time, and all she ever said was my fiance. And I wanted to shake her. Then when she got married, my husband. I literally never knew this guy's
Right.
name,
Right.
and I was like, I didn't like that. So
I'm
Greg,
the same.
Mr. Jackson,
I like calling people by their names and their formal names too.
Mr. Tina Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
Mr.
I like that.
Mr.
like it.
Tina B.
He's so cute.
What's happening?
And then introduce your pal.
I'm gonna allow him to.
Oh,
Ooh.
dead air.
Look
Dead
how
air.
red he's got. Don't freeze that because this is all you, babe.
It's John Doe, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
John Smith.
John
What'd you
Smith.
call him last time?
Joe Smith?
Mr. Smith.
John Doe?
Sure. We'll go with that.
Let's
All
just
right.
call him JD.
Ooh, I like that. What's D?
I don't
Damn
know.
it.
I'm just guessing his last name starts
Damn
with
it.
a D.
Jerry, damn it!
Jeremiah, damn it. How about Jeremiah was a bullfrog? JB. Call you JB. How you doing?
My heart's like racing 15 miles an hour.
Are you taking on his emotion, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're
I
taking
totally
you are.
feel it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do that because Greg is very well spoken. He just needs to not be nervous. That's all.
We
He's
were
I'm not
there, you
intelligent.
guys.
He's an
I'm not
intelligent
nervous.
man.
I listened to the podcast last night that was, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
We listened to it at home. I thought JB or JD was very well spoken.
I do too. I think he was very collected. He summarized.
Good vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Very articulate.
Yep.
Did you study in college?
No, it's just because of the initials.
Didn't Oh, JD. I get it now.
Okay, so did you have a good week?
I did. Should we check in? Guess what I did this week?
No, we
And
shouldn't check in. No, I'm just
Yesterday.
kidding.
It was yesterday. I put a puzzle together.
Oh, how many pieces? One of those like
750.
12 pieces?
Oh.
No, you did it in one day. Get out of town.
Seriously.
She did like 20 pieces.
Who did it mostly?
I
The
don't
corners?
really know why you outed
You
me
did
like
the-
that.
you
Like,
did the
honestly,
frame?
this was my check-in. This is all I had. Okay, back off because I'm going to out.
Okay, did you all do a puzzle together
Yes.
Yeah.
with children? Were children involved
No.
or just you two?
No, just very calm. It was actually, I was so relaxed after it. It was of donuts. J likes donuts
Oh,
a lot, and so we bought a puzzle of donuts, and we picked our favorite ones, like we were going to eat it. But for the long
that sounds
haul,
like fun.
it was actually really relaxing. I haven't done one in years.
Oh, that's cool.
He's
good
a
for you.
puzzle guy. He's full of them, full of games and puzzles. What'd you do new this week, Jay?
A puzzle.
No, that ain't nothing.
Well, I know you were on a plane because you don't live in St. George, so there's one thing you did.
That's true.
Okay, I'm gonna say it.
It might as well just come out now. She was gonna get it.
What
out
did you
at
do?
some point.
What did you?
Do
I
it.
want to know what did you shart or I mean what?
That's my nickname.
What did you-
My mom calls me. My grandma calls me Shardy. What'd you do,
You
babe?
can't have dead air. You got to talk, man.
When I started getting older, my hair started falling out.
Okay.
And relocated to my shoulder and back.
And stuck.
So
Oh my gosh! Wait, stop. Okay, so let's recap in Tina language. So you have like a man sweater right now.
Front and back. Oh,
Okay.
wait, no.
Wait a second. You had your back waxed.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
I am so proud of you. How freaking painful was that?
She
It wasn't
got
bad at all.
it was well. I think he was definitely holding it in, but she got the bulbous on him. She was showing us that. But to be honest with you, tell her
What's
Tell
a
her what you
bulbus?
Yeah. what I-
the root
I'm
of the
almost
hair
afraid to ask.
follicle,
Okay,
the
okay.
bulbous.
Okay.
Some
So
call it
that little
follicles.
like it's like a little white thing at the end
Yeah.
when you pluck out the it's like
Mm-hmm.
little casing on there.
Yeah,
Wow.
good call.
I am that's courageous.
What's your experience?
Did
like?
you just do your back?
back butt area too?
That was my back.
Your buck, your
Backside.
buck.
You didn't
But
you didn't
what
do your butthole, did you?
Oh my god.
Along with maybe a little bleaching or
I
something?
didn't realize how popular that was. Though.
Wow.
It really is popular.
That's ridiculous.
It's a clean wipe, you guys. It's
I was
fine.
the most G-rated event of the day for her.
So you didn't go. "Wah!" It wasn't like. Have you seen the 40-year-old virgin when they do his chest?
That's all
It
I could
wasn't.
think of going into it.
I'm sure.
It wasn't bad.
Oh, good.
What are you experiencing now
Does it
from
itch?
it? Yeah.
No, it doesn't itch. I just randomly start sweating. Like my back's having hot flashes.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome to the club, darling. Just saying. not
that
a-
was the best.
It's
He's
not
like,
unusual to be sweating in odd places. Okay.
back menopause, everyone.
Like the backs of the knees, the tops of the thigh, places that there shouldn't be sweat glands. But good for you. So is that why you're not leaning back against the thing?
No, my mic's on the table.
Oh, okay. Don't be a smartass, okay? All right.
Greg,
So-
check in. What'd you do? What's
Yeah.
new with you?
Got a haircut.
Yeah,
Ah,
I got it.
ooh.
Yeah, I did.
Looks really
I
good,
was.
by the way.
Thank you.
Wow.
Should
look
we
at that.
leave you two alone?
I know.
I mean, we're good with it. We might watch, but go ahead.
What's the question? What did we do this last week?
Yeah. What's new for
What did
you?
do?
It's the same old stuff.
Do you
I
like
don't-
that? I like that though.
Yeah, there is some, I guess, comfort or I don't like change. I could tell you that, and you could probably attest to that. I do not like change. You know, I get up at the same time every day, get ready, go to work, come back.
He
and
literally paces around the house and does the same thing at the exact same time
I
every
do.
day.
Wow. So if I were to say it's 6:03 a.m., where's Greg?
Well, I'm still in bed at 6:03.
Okay,
but
6:13.
6:40.
Okay.
I'm up and going.
That's
so.
after listening to 3 different alarms
Mm.
To make sure I get
twice each.
I
Good sleeper.
literally
He will leave the alarm going
I-
even if we're laying there talking. I'm like,
that happens rarely.
unless
okay?
you have narcolepsy,
But-
Hold
like,
on,
you
though.
could turn that
No,
shit
I-
off.
I think this is a good segue.
I literally have obsessive compulsive disorder. So
Oh
there's
my
always a method
gosh,
to
I'm so proud of
to
you.
what I do.
Yeah.
So
Is
I'm
it the
comfortable with it.
kind
I'm
where you
comfortable.
worry so much about something that you got to repeat it over and over and over
yeah.
again?
There's elements to that. There's OCD's kind of broad. So yeah, do I check things for sure? But
Like what?
I check door locks.
A
How?
lot.
How?
What do you mean how?
How do you check the back door lock in the garage?
I make sure it's locked.
How?
I look at it.
He locks it and then he lines up
All right,
to the
don't-
crack to
don't
make
fun
sure
of me.
that the
Okay.
Bolts through.
that's
I do, and I've been
He
doing
ma-
that for a long time, longer than I've known
I know. I
you.
just noticed it, and
Well,
so I
not
thought I'd
knowing
give him a
you,
hard
but
time.
longer than we've
You
been
don't
together.
trust the door
so.
locks.
Yeah.
He makes sure that the
it-
fridge in the garage is closed, like sealed closed.
Sure, because that's
What-
a lot of
what-
money
no,
in
no,
that
sure,
fridge,
sure.
right?
I would never
Listen,
do that.
What I was trying to get to, I wasn't trying to get to all the intricacies of my OCD.
Okay,
I was just
sorry.
trying to say that there's a method in my life. I do things a certain way at work. I do things a certain way at home. I take my shower. Everything is in order.
including the way he uses his towel.
Yeah. That
Okay.
Too.
Because you don't ever want to wipe your face with your butt, right?
I do
No.
every day.
I mean, I
Who
don't.
can do that? Show me. Wipe your face right now with your
No,
butt.
but after
with
the
the towel, like
after your
if
shower,
he wipes
Oh.
over here, there's no. He knows what's being wiped on
right.
the
How
towel.
After-
often do you wash your towels, Greg?
after every couple days,
Okay.
there.
I don't.
After the shower,
does.
you're already clean, so it kind of doesn't matter.
That's how
you
I
know?
feel
So,
about it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
That's how I feel about it.
There's just certain little things that
You know, if you
that you
got-
do. So back to
No, go ahead.
back to what's new with you this week is that you are very methodical. You like routine. You
Predictable.
like patterns.
Yeah.
So nothing unusual happened this week. I can't think of anything unusual that happened this week.
At home or at work? No, I don't know. Can you think of something?
No.
Okay, I have
No,
a goal for
It's
you.
all been the same.
I have a goal for you. I
It
want
has, and
something
we like
new
it like that.
by next week. I just want something new.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
it could be a
Drive
new
to
box
work a
of
different
cereal.
way.
Yeah, drive to
Backwards.
yeah backwards. Yeah, that would have been fun.
We did that the other night. We seen, and
Oh.
I want to look up to see if it's a law that is it illegal to drive backwards for an extended period of time.
probably
Well,
is.
ask dude.
I have, and he doesn't know.
It probably is.
Ask dude.
I'm pleading the fifth.
JD. Okay, so
Wait, I got a great. That was a good segue to say, you
I
know.
didn't check in.
Oh, Tina, you didn't. I
Oh,
swear.
And
I'm
I didn't
sorry.
do anything. I just didn't want to be excluded.
Wait, you didn't do anything new.
Not well. That's not true. I did a bunch of drawing this weekend, which was really fun. I posted it. My lines. I'm obsessed with lines. I'm obsessed with lines.
Pointillism and
yes.
lines.
Yeah. Oh,
That's right,
We should
that's
create
right.
something together.
We spent
Huh.
we spent Sunday morning. We didn't go out to breakfast. Sometimes we do that. We didn't go out to breakfast. You sat there and you did your drawings.
I did my journaling first,
And-
and then I started to draw.
And I got that one thing was new. I got a book. I got a book that I ordered.
What's the
from
name of the book, honey?
The Radicalism of the American Revolution. I studied
Wow.
history in college, and it was a book that I read in college. I read it out of the library maybe 5 years ago or so, and it's to the average person, it's very boring, but it's right up my alley. That's my passion. So we
History.
spent a lot of good time on
It
Sunday
was
morning
quiet.
doing
It
that.
was nice Sunday morning. We burned a little fire in the fire. Like it was just
Yeah.
quiet. Spending
Aw.
time together, but not interacting, just in each other's presence, doing the things that we enjoy the most. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
That is
It's
beautiful.
a
Sorry,
great
I
way to send a
interrupted.
Sunday morning. That's okay.
We had a good Sunday
So
morning.
yeah. Anyway, I've had a decent week. I love my 3-day weekends. I love them. Yesterday I went shopping with Samantha and we did a little damage. I had to take the card out and hide it because it was on fire when we were done.
That's a good day.
That is a good day. It was fun.
Yeah, and you'll pay for it later.
I don't know.
Okay, but good check-in. I'm really excited to have our guests on the show because this, to me, is a perspective that everyone needs to know.
Mm.
Raising children.
Mm-hmm.
My hell, you cannot prepare enough for that.
No, because if you have more than one, there's always one that you're just constantly catching curveballs with.
Oh yeah, and then you're trying to remember like how was I taught how to talk about sex,
Which can be
what did my parents
totally
say to me?
irrelevant
Yeah, no,
this day and age.
Oh, you learn more than what you learn at home,
Oh
for
my
sure, on
gosh.
these special topics. But
Mhm.
the favorite part about this is we're going to be firing on all cylinders to our guests.
Yeah.
The male perspective of raising girls.
Okay, so JD, how many children
Look at his
overall do you
face.
have?
You're
Two.
And you have one of each.
Yes,
Okay.
I like to say she is why we had the second, he's why we stopped.
Okay, well there you go. I like it. Okay,
Isn't it
and how
usually
about
the other way
and how
around?
about you, Greg? Let's pretend like we don't know each other.
Oh,
How many children do you have?
2 daughters.
Okay, and Okay, so we're just going to jump right into this. I have just some questions, and we're just going to spitball, and we're going to talk about it. Okay?
Girls.
Girls.
Rainbow.
I have. You also have one of each. I have only girls.
Oh, yeah. I have a little mini me.
You do.
And I've talked about her on the show to where I'm like, I hate her. Like I love, and meaning hate because I almost see so much of me in her. She punched me in the mouth, didn't she? She full on protected herself. And after it was all said and done, it was like just we were all teasing. And she just got me in the right angle at the right time. 9 years old. Boom, right in the mouth.
Was it a jab, an uppercut?
Oh, no.
Was
Closed fist straight on my teeth. And I popped my head back. I was like, oh my gosh. And
did you hit her back?
No, I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her, didn't I? I was like,
they got to learn somehow, Charmaine.
It shocked me because I was like, now I know that she can handle her own. But then it scared me. I pictured her at 16 and me and her just rolling on the floor, like just hair pulling, knees, foot. She's gonna be ferocious.
Been there,
Yep.
done that.
Really?
Well, I have to say that I did have to restrain my little Samantha because she was just being, and I'm trained in this restraint training with juveniles. So, and it literally was like a week after I came back from this 2-week training, which was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. It was like boot camp. Anyway, so she was just being mouthy and whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm leaving. And her friends were there. And I was like, walk out that door. And she did, because she's that kid. Marissa would be like, well, I would if I wasn't scared shitless of you. But Samantha's more like, okay, you know. So I grabbed her. and put her in I spun her around, and I didn't hurt her.
But you showed her.
I did like a straight arm bar on her and put her down on the ground. And she just, and I said, you're not going anywhere, for one. And she said, let me go. I said, I will let you go when you calm down. You need to bring it down like a few notches. And she finally did, and then got up and went in her room, and then she came back out, and I showed that increase of love because I didn't hit her.
Right.
I just restrained her. I stopped her from doing,
it's hard to discipline girls just because, like, can you guys relate to this? Have you ever?
It's a good thing we have them.
Have you ever spanked, or are you just
firing
verbal? Are you
questions at
verbal disciplinaries?
That is a really good question. I want to ask that of you because I know that about me. Not that you don't get to answer.
The look goes a long way.
Yes.
Ooh, show me it. I'm scared.
It's probably the same one you gave your daughter when you got the haymaker.
Okay, so the haymaker, I like it.
Did. I whipped her around and said, you are never going to do that again.
I remember my mom straight up, I think I called her a bitch. And I walked away and walked down the hallway, and she literally ran after my mom was scrappy.
Wouldn't you?
Oh, please.
Yeah.
She threw me down on the ground, and she was just all up in my, I was like, oh. And then I was trying to deflect, and she's like,
ninja
don't
slaps.
raise your
I call them
hand.
ninja slaps.
Yeah, it got really ugly.
Her hands were everywhere, mine weren't.
Okay, so
she was
JD,
good.
Your daughter came first.
Yes.
And how old is she now, and what is the difference in their age?
She's 13 and 2 years difference.
Okay, so what's the difference between your personal opinion between
boy and girl?
8 and 13.
Oh, of a girl.
The return policy is expired.
There is that. Yes. Did you? So are you a spanker? Can I ask that? You don't have to disclose if you don't want to.
Grounder. Timeout.
Creative.
Ooh. Like
Okay.
you're going to do chores.
Yeah, any number of things.
Sure.
Whatever's applicable for
The child.
the crime.
Ah.
So the punishment always fits the crime with you?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
I
Because
always went
sometimes
overboard, but I
I
wanted them to learn.
you're grounded for 2 years. And then 3 days later, they're like, but you know what grounding is? Grounding is punishment for us too. Because I don't necessarily want
Yeah, you have to
her.
entertain.
Yeah, I don't. No. Okay, so what is the best thing about being the father of a daughter? Greg.
Me? The best thing?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think there's probably several answers to it. Marissa and can I say their names? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Marissa and Sam. They're different. Their personalities are different.
Very much.
But they're the best thing about they're sweet girls.
Aw.
Sam definitely takes after you, Tina, in the scrappy parts.
In the really good way, in the really great way.
The firecracker, yeah. I'm sure there's.
He's like 5 shades of red right now. He's in trouble.
Marissa takes after you too, because there's a sweet side to you too, Tina, and Marissa definitely has that. If I've ever had an argument or something of that nature with Marissa, she within an hour she'll text or call or say, hey, I'm sorry that she doesn't want to fight. She's very much a peacemaker.
What about Samantha? Is she a peacemaker?
No. I'm not trying to be
that
mean.
Was too quick.
Sorry, Sam, if you can hear this. No, but there's those different parts about them. They're different personalities. There's something to respect and appreciate in each of them. There's nothing wrong with being a scrapper when it's necessary. There's nothing wrong with being a peacemaker either. Sometimes you don't always have to be a peacemaker. That goes for anyone, But I'm going off on a tangent here. The best thing that's a good question. That's a tough question. I'm full disclosure. I'm their stepfather, and I do have 2 sons that are biologically mine. They don't live around here, and I never spanked them. We made that conscious decision to not spank. That's just how we felt about it at the time. I've never. I mean, Marissa was 15 when I first met her. And I was brand new into the life. There's no,
you jumped right in.
There was no. I've never touched them as far as disciplinary. It's the phone is a good thing to try, or it was a good thing to try to take
Give me
away.
your phone.
But that ended up being a huge battle. Like that's like taking.
They
crack
turn
away
into
from a
like
drug addict.
the devil
it is.
himself.
It
For
is.
real.
It
Okay.
totally is. Sorry.
So no, you're fine. What is the worst part of being, or maybe not the worst, but what is a part you could do without being the father of a daughter, of a girl?
Oftentimes, the lessons in humility come quickly and swiftly.
What do you mean? What
You got to
And
elaborate.
unexpectedly.
Be more clear.
Like she put you in your place?
No, it's just, I think the way I view her is different than my son, and that I want her to know what she should expect and how she should be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And not that that's different for my son, but different in a more of a protective type of way.
So you want to give her instincts on maybe like a male's intention, or like what friends would look like if they're genuine versus
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I think they all kind of begin to intertwine, especially as they get older. But the worst thing is, like I said, is oftentimes when your tactics aren't on point or the communication channel isn't on the level they need.
Mm-hmm.
Those lessons in humility tend to creep in ways that you don't expect them to come around to you.
Yeah, and in researching this topic, which I did just a little bit because I really wanted you guys' opinion on it, I realized that, and these were values that I hold in raising my own daughters, in that you're the first man in your daughter's life. Okay?
Big deal.
It is a big deal. The first man in my life, not a great example. I mean, there's a lot of things about him that were good, but there were a lot of things about him that were, I also was aware of the way he was treating my mother, which was not great either. And that's a story for another time, but we're going to leave off. And when we come back, we're going to talk about purchasing feminine hygiene.
Periods,
and
boys,
question marks and cycles and moons.
This is Whack-A-Mole with Tina B and Charmaine G. Raw discussion about the messiness of life. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Whack-A-Mole. We welcome you back to Whack-A-Mole, raw discussions about the messiness of life. Now, here are your hosts, Tina B and Charmaine G.
And we're back. Okay, so JD was talking about, I'm just going to call you that forever now, was talking about humility and the repercussions of making certain decisions. Am I right about that? About how you have disciplined her, how you want her to be treated.
And communicate with her.
Yes. So, as promised, one of my questions is, have you ever purchased feminine hygiene for your daughter?
No.
Have you ever talked to her about what it's going to be like becoming a woman?
No.
Why?
Yeah.
Whose job
Her
is
mom
that?
has done that.
By gosh, by golly,
Okay,
what
so
the heck is that
what if
about?
she wasn't there? What if she didn't have a female role model, and it was just you?
I'd probably watch a YouTube tutorial.
Okay.
Get the dummy's guide to.
Okay.
to
How
have
would
that
you
conversation.
describe it? Like, act like I'm your daughter and you want to tell me I'm going to start my period and what to expect. Let's practice.
Don't panic.
What if your daughter just like and if a girl don't panic. If your daughter it was just you and she, there would be no preceding conversation. So she'd just come out bleeding from her crotch and you would be like, "What? Come on, JD.
Wait,
Don't panic."
I didn't prepare for this. Like it's just
Yeah,
we
like
wake
what
up
if
one
like
day
you
and this
don't know?
conversation's
That's
happening.
how it happens. Just so you
She's
guys
walking
know.
out the door for school and you see blood on the back
Yeah.
of her pants.
She was sick that day.
But you still have to actually
So do you
something
like
about
just
it.
go to Walgreens and like open the door and just push her in there and go, I don't know,
No,
just
I don't
look
care.
and see.
Go in and buy the stuff.
Okay. Have you ever bought feminine hygiene?
Yes.
I know the answer to that question because he's
Go in
bought
and
it for
play
me
catch with it.
recently.
He told me they used to play. What would you guys do with tampons growing up?
Oh, they were sticks of dynamite.
That's funny.
My little brother would tie them together and they were nunchucks.
That's funny. That's good. I like it. Okay, so how about you, Sean? Have you ever purchased feminine hygiene? Do you have a daughter?
I have 2 stepdaughters.
Okay.
Don't count.
Oh my! Did you buy tampons?
Well,
Pat?
I didn't have to buy tampons for the first because about a week after we got married, we found out she was pregnant.
So
So there was no more buying tampons for her for a while.
Okay. So, but have you ever bought feminine hygiene
Yeah.
for your wife or
Yeah.
other's?
Yeah.
Were you weird about it or were you just
No.
like, I'm doing this?
Proud.
Doing this. I keep pads in my truck.
That is for what reason?
So it doesn't mess up the seats.
I haven't lauged like that.
come on, it's
ever
worthwhile,
on
you know,
this
it's like-
podcast.
She's like,
just the look on his
we
face.
need to
when
stop.
he
I'm like,
said
here
it.
you go, honey. Go to Maverick. Do what you got to do.
Right, just go
And
on
who-
in.
Okay, pads versus tampons. That's like a whole other podcast. But okay, so now we know.
Isn't that a female choice?
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
It
Sure.
is.
So what's
I
the big
think-
deal? We did a whole other podcast. We just talked about
What's
it.
the big deal?
One's
I'll
out
tell
wearing
you
a diaper.
what.
Yeah,
It's like
one-
wearing a
Yeah,
diaper.
yeah.
One's
for
out,
sure.
one's in.
One's out and one's in. And when one is out, you can feel what's coming out. Like it's a whole thing. It's just not. It's not.
I know.
yeah,
She jumps up at 3:00 in the morning. Ah!
Yeah.
I'm like, what's? That's right. I have an app on my phone for this to know when it's happening.
Okay, so what do you do when you walk into the restroom as a father and in the sink is the soaking underwear
Yeah.
and then the toilet's not flushed? What do you call that?
Bad hygiene.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, thank you.
That is, yeah.
Totally gnarly?
I think that
Or is
has
it-
happened to Greg. Has
Yeah,
it?
I think so. I think
It's
maybe
like a
in
murder
our
scene.
maybe in our bathroom. But theirs, I don't know. I can't remember. It's just like whatever.
It's a
But
lesson
you
to
also-
stay out of their bathroom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You grew up with sisters though too, so you're not. It wasn't new to you.
No. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, it does.
Not to me.
No.
Thank goodness. Okay.
But no, it's
So here's my next question: how do you feel about your daughter dating?
Ooh.
He's already kind of crossing that bridge, but have you?
No.
Okay.
Hope not.
Well,
look at the look on his face.
and nobody want right. That's
He's like, no.
that's it.
He already hates
But
the guy.
but the reality is that
it's coming.
maybe because of and maybe because of your reaction, she's doing it and not sharing it with you. How do you feel about that?
No, I'm stoic now, but I have a different there's a tenderness with her that's different that I think is open.
Okay, so why do you have a tenderness with your daughter but not with your son? And I think that's
it's
a
not
very
that I don't. They're just different.
Yes.
So it's adjusted to their style.
okay.
Mhm.
So do you have expectations of what your daughter should be as opposed to are you and it's okay if you are because I'm about to admit that I am. Do you feel like boys are boys and girls are girls and there's a difference in like or do you believe in all of this like gender neutral and let's treat everybody equal and I mean with some things of course yes, but do you think boys should be boys and girls should be girls? Like is there pink and blue?
It's not my choice to make.
What does that mean?
You want them to have agency?
What do you support is what I'm asking. You have an influence in your children's life whether you want to or not. They've been in your life since they came out of the womb. So you've influenced them with an idea in some way.
Yeah.
So would you say that you are more traditional?
Yeah, probably.
Because I am too. Now, I don't have boys, but I try not to be, and I'm going to probably get hated for this, but
Hate mail.
it's just the truth. Like when I see a little boy throwing a tantrum and crying, there's something, and I think it's probably the conditioning from my own childhood, where I'm just like,
Man
"Ah,
up.
exactly,
Grow up.
Stop it, like you know." I don't know.
I'm pretty equal though. I mean, in my parenting,
You have one of each, so
yeah, I do. I'm pretty equal. Like when they're both like expressing emotions, not like to where I can even communicate with them, then I tell them shut it down. You know, it doesn't. But in all actuality, yeah, girls are pink, boys are blue. I mean, the conditioning that we do as parents when we first buy them clothes, you know, and it's so cute and everything's so tender. I mean, the relationships are cultivated through that conditioning. You know, how we were brought up as kids goes into our parenting
Yeah.
type, you know, but to be honest with you, I always ask myself, what would I do if one of my children came home and said, hey, I'm into girls, like if Myra did. I now at a place to where I've matured and it wasn't open in my home to talk about those kind of things. It's a whole new world. It's
Big
a
time.
whole new world.
and I've thought about that as well. And I don't know that I would be bothered by that.
I wouldn't be bothered. I would almost feel like want to extra protect because the world might be bothered by that.
That-
you know,
that
and I want
you-
them to have
yes.
a good quality of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how do you feel? I'm going to ask this for Greg and then I'll ask it for you. How do you feel while we're out, like we were out with both of the girls on Saturday, they actually came shopping with us. Okay. We do Costco and Smith's and run around and go out to lunch and do stuff on Saturdays. So while we're out, both of our daughters were with us. How do you feel while out when grown men are looking at your daughter? And it happens. It is there. I see it. I observe it. It's not something like, well, if it were to happen, it happens. It happens all the time. And we have one that's 15 and one that's 22. So it happens equally to both of them.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
What are they thinking when they're looking at them, you think?
Yeah, I mean, we actually went out to eat. It was before Marissa was hanging out with us. We went out to eat on Saturday. Sam was with us, and, that critical moment where you need to wear your mask between the door and your
Your
and
table.
because that's where the coronavirus lives. And I only mention that because with these face masks on, a lot of the communication that we have between individuals is
The eyes.
is our body communication. Yeah, eyes could be facial expressions or movements. You can't see what in my opinion, you can't totally gauge someone if they've got a face covering over. You can't, because there's facial expressions too. That's part of body language communication.
So when we were at lunch,
we were walking to the table, and he was over 18 for sure, maybe in his 20s, mid 20s, and Tina and Sam were ahead of me, and Tina goes and sits down, and Sam was right behind her, and he was just kind of staring at her as she walked by.
rubbernecking.
I don't think he was. I can't remember what
He was
she was
checking her
wearing.
out.
He was checking her out, and also with her mask on, you probably can't tell how old she is, but she does look older than 15. That's for sure. But I just made eye contact with him. I see what you're doing. Come on, dude. But
Does it not
Laser eyes?
enrage you? I want to hurt people when I see that. And I've said things about that
What do you do?
to
What do you
grown
mean?
men.
What are you looking at? Is that what you said?
Totally. I'm like, she's 14. In
Yeah.
McDonald's, some guy was sitting in the booth. My daughter was getting her drink, and he was like, she was a foot and a half away from her. I'm like,
Yuck.
are you out of your mind? Literally, I walked right up to him and said, are you out of your mind? She's 14 years old. And he just shriveled.
Is it because of the age, though? I mean, let's
Yeah.
say she's 25 and you see that, Mom, Dad.
I think that it's different when they're younger. I think.
I
For
think
sure.
so
Yeah,
too.
because-
yes.
I mean, I didn't notice how much guys look at girls, young girls, let's say that. I didn't notice that until I got married to you. And,
Well, let's
and we
go
had
back
daughters.
to
You're
you're a
see-
man. You're a
Yeah.
man. When did you guys start getting interested in girls? When were you like, man, she's cute, she's hot?
When he first had a crush on me.
Oh my god!
Ah!
Go ahead. Sorry.
Wait,
It's true.
Have you talked about that on here?
Yeah, I
before?
know
You
about
have?
it.
No,
Okay.
I've told her.
I know.
So yeah, probably I don't know, maybe 11 or 12, 13. I don't know.
Okay,
somewhere
okay.
around there. Where
So JD's
but
daughter's
it's-
getting it then, huh? From the boys, the little looksies.
Apparently, I need to be paying closer attention.
But your daughter's the one that's like, they're
Popular.
following her. Yeah, they're following her around. So, I mean, does that scare
Mm-hmm.
you? Are you looking at it going like, my gosh, I'm in for a world of,
No, her.
I
to
need
be
more
honest, she's not
bullets.
one of her nicknames is BB, which is ball buster, because she's got squared toe cowboy boots that she wears a lot. And she's used them a couple times.
oh really?
So a lot of that she kind of self-corrects, but to walk through a restaurant and notice it, I can't say that I've experienced that yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And it could be sometimes it's in the grocery store or out shopping or whatever. And
But even if it's their
You know-
peers, even if it's their boys showing interest, that's coming of age. That's where they're at in life. Does that almost want to slow things down? And you go, no, just give me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or like, how can I freaking stop this train from happening?
It's powerful. A girl's sexuality is powerful in our society. It just is.
It's an
because
asset.
They're totally, literally, an asset. But there's like we're curvy, we're more mature, we're baiting guys. I mean, I learned that at a very young age. I was
For
like,
sure. It's not all about the
boobs and
personality.
boys. When I was like, when I was a tomboy and we were playing like touch football, and then it was like, I might not. My dad was
Touch
like,
my
yeah,
football.
don't. Exactly, no.
Don't.
You're done doing that.
No, even butterfaces get some too, because you can use it as, you know what a butterface is, right?
No. What?
yeah, butterface. Everything looks good, but her face.
Oh.
There's
That's
butter
like a
butts.
two-bagger,
There's
isn't it?
butter, whatever.
Two bagger brown bagging it.
Okay,
But
so
no, it's because we have. It's not the lure. It's not anything, but it is a stimulation that we know that we can we get at a very young age, and we can
it's
use
manipulation.
we can use it to our advantage. And I say that just because it's such a powerful thing with when you guys are your testosterone, your voice is changing, and you're waking up and you got those morning boners and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then you're trying to pee it out, or and then it's all over the floor. But when it comes down to it, you go to school and you see Samantha Jane and you're like, gosh, I really just want to get to know Samantha Jane. That's happening right now. DJ, you good with that?
DJ JD.
You good with that?
Okay, so let me say along these lines,
No, I'm not good with that.
is that boys and girls, I'm just going to speak for girls because I don't have boys, so I didn't ever do any research beyond the surface. Girls can be daddy's girls when they're little. Sitting on the lap and, oh, you have my heart and blah, blah, blah. You've probably experienced that. And then when they start to become young women, around the age of like adolescence, puberty, they want their mom more. They get close to their mom more. And I did watch that with my girls. Of course, I was a single mom for a long time, so my girls really only had me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had dads, but not every day, all the time. It wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's tough on a dad. Did you experience that? Your daughter moving from being daddy's little girl to wanting to maybe she could relate more to her mom or spend more time with her mom.
Yeah, I would say I saw that transition around 10 or 11.
Did it hurt your heart?
No,
Were you
'cause
like, oh?
it's not. I mean, she's not 7. I
That's
recognize
true.
that she's much more independent and wears eye makeup and
Mm-hmm.
things that kind of put it into a different frame of mind as to what her mental capacities are and where she's at in life. I think it's easy to trap them in that small phase where they're innocent and need you like that, whereas now she communicates differently, and I just have to adjust tactics to it.
He's very...
Yeah. I'm excited for her. I mean, that's how I feel, just because you're rolling with her and realizing that she's got a rite to passage coming, and you're not going to be there on the porch with a shotgun weaning everybody off and slowing things down. But you're coming to her. That's really my experience wasn't like that growing up as a child. To be honest with you, I hemorrhaged in the bathroom at the soccer game because nobody told me I was going to become a woman. Like, I was a boy. Not really. That viewers, listeners, I was not a boy. Hold on, let me correct that. I was not a boy.
She was neutral.
Tomboy. That's awesome.
Okay.
I'm really not a man, Jay.
What's
Charmin
we're
before.
starting to wind down a little bit here. So, okay, Greg, briefly, what scares the hell out of you?
Regarding girls,
Yes.
daughters,
Yeah.
or girl daughters. I guess there's only one kind of girl daughter.
One kind of daughter, the girl
One kind
kind.
of daughter, the girl kind. What scares me? Right now, I'm not like totally frightened for Sam or Marissa. They're doing great in their lives. With Sam, the thing that I guess you could say scares the hell out of me would be her learning to drive and getting her driver's license. We
Of
took
all
her,
the things we conquer with her, this is the one that gets him the most.
It does. We took her driving a couple months ago, just in a parking lot, in a private parking lot. She was driving around, and the first thing I told her was like, all right, you got to put the phone in the back seat, and it was a little bit of a struggle at the beginning. It's like, you can't do both at the same time. You got to please realize that, There's that, and then halfway through driving, we drove around for probably a half hour, 45 minutes. All right, let's listen to some bops. She wanted to turn the radio on, and I was like, all right, whatever. But at she needs to learn how to deal with that because it could be a distraction as well.
Yeah.
Sam's also the kid that, like, at Sand Hollow when you can cliff jump, the cliff jumping, people start off on like the lower rocks.
Oh, she goes straight for it.
And she does that with everything in her life. I'm going to go balls out, balls to the wall. She has in the last year learned to discern situations that are different, but not a lot scares her. I mean, she's a courageous chick.
That's
for
awesome.
sure. She's
That's
got stuff on her plate right now that it blows me away. She's just like,
Stepping
okay,
up
this
to the
is
plate.
this is what I'm doing now, and nobody's going to get in my way. Yeah, I mean, that's where we had a confrontation. We did go to the grocery store the other day. I've mentioned that now, 10 times? There were some girls that were looking at Samantha, and she said to me, these girls are like checking me out. Now, everybody's wearing masks.
Yeah.
But she's like, these girls are like checking me out. And like, I don't, she was getting all puffed up about it, And then we were walking away and the girl goes, well, if you're going to talk about us, at least put a mask on. And so then I turned around because Sam and I share a brain, for real. Now, Marissa was just like, oh, okay, well, we're sorry. I was like, no, we're not. We're not sorry. Nobody over here is sorry. What is your problem?
Was
they
it
were
your
adult
age?
girls. They were young in like 20s. I'm 54. I swear, I don't know what it is about me, but I welcome, like, I'm waiting for conflict because I just get right up there. Yeah. Right? I don't know what that is.
I'm not looking for it.
I think it's from sleeping with the enemy for like 10 years that I just
chaos.
calling it in.
Have chaos.
Exactly. So, okay.
So wait, hold on, Jay. What scares you the most about having a daughter? There's a difference between a daughter and having a son.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, a big difference. Like, he even went into more protective mode. Like, just, you got extra layers that you got to talk to her about.
I would say, did I give her enough to make good decisions and have the intestinal fortitude to get through them, regardless of if she's alone with other people, whatever that may be?
Did you say intestinal fortitude?
Mm-hmm. Courage.
Intestinal?
Strength.
Is that a thing?
Internal.
Intestinal? Yeah, I like my words. I'm asking you to, I just don't know if I've ever heard that.
It's a military expression.
Be. Say it again?
It's a military expression.
Intestinal. Internal.
Haven't you ever
I get
heard
that. So there's an origin there with intestinal, internal. But what are you guys what are you talking about in the military that's intestinal? Like, are you squeezing the shit out of other people? Is
your poop?
Like
MREs.
Yeah, MREs are grabbing your freaking
Does she have the metal to get through and persevere?
Well, you know what I can say about that is that I, as a kid with the conditioning, I knew I had courage and I knew I was strong, but I was told that I wasn't supposed to be.
So you were held back.
So I was, yes. I mean, my father's very old-fashioned, and he was raised old-fashioned, and that's the way we were not allowed to wear cut-off shorts. Like, we had to wear socks. We couldn't show our feet. It's
modest
a
is
thing.
the hottest.
Totally.
So how do you think she's doing, Jay?
I think she's got what she needs.
I mean,
she's
for
got a
13,
big heart, and she's very aware of what is around her and her capabilities.
And you can tell that, like her discernment and her judgments, and right where her age is, because she's got a lot of growing up to do, and she's going to have a lot more experiences that are going to teach that piece to her more than what you can, in some incidences. But that's probably, if I were to answer, what's the most scariest thing for me. I talked to him about that, how to communicate with my son, the responsibility that he has when I want to teach him agency. I want him to have it and not just follow my path or the culture that he's raised in. And because honestly, like, he could be anything he wanted. And that's my fear, is that we would hold our children back
and subjugate them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my fear. I mean, just because we're innocently afraid ourselves, it's not like, when I say slow things down, it doesn't mean that we want to create the barriers, but dang, for sure, life is freaking hard. And we want to say, look at it this way. Look at it this way. It's way beyond their years. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell you, when it comes to taking the time and coming down to a little girl's level, that little girl, the love that they have for their father or the man in their life is much more resounding in the long haul than their mother, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to say this about our family. We're very close, us four. Even though Greg is the stepfather, he's very close to, we're a close little quad of people. And his example has been the best it could be for a man. And my girls will tell you that they
You can see it in
follow
their
his
eyes.
lead
You can see
as
that in
far
their
as
eyes.
choosing boyfriends and boys that they want to hang out with. So
Girls
thank
are
you.
golden.
Thanks,
I love
JD.
'em.
Thanks, Gregory, for joining us. And we will see you guys. Well, you'll hear from us next week, whether you want to or not.
You've been listening to Whack-A-Mole with Tina B and Charmaine G. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Watch us on YouTube and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Join us next time for, well, whatever may happen with Tina B and Charmaine G on Whack-A-Mole.